Welcome back to House of Hollingsworth. I'm Kate, and let me show you what I'm working on today. I have a feeling you are going to absolutely love it. So this is a William and Mary style writer's desk. Now there's a couple of problem areas. First of all, it's got a great big gouge out of the timber there. So that will need to be filled. The other problem is that at some point they painted and the paint spilt all over. Now I don't mind that there's paint on the back of the piece, but I want to get off the paint that spilled on the visible parts. But I don't think it's going to be a big job. So here's hoping I can get this piece cleaned up and refinished in one day and get it listed this weekend. I started out by scraping off the white paint from the sides and feet with my painter's multi-tool. The paint on sides scraped off easily because I was working with a flat surface, but the feet, however, were a bit more work. I used my painter's multi-tool to gently scrape away the thick layer of paint. I think the feet had been standing in the paint as it dried because some areas were so thick they peeled off in one big chunk, whereas other areas like this foot I'm cleaning up now required a lot of fiddly scraping. Next I moved on to stripping back the old shellac finish. Shellac is my favourite type of finish to remove because it comes off so easily. All you need is methylated spirits and superfine steel wool. You dip the steel wool into the methylated spirits and rub it onto the surface you're stripping. Keep scrubbing until the methylated spirits turns a darker colour. This is the shellac dissolving. While it's still wet, wipe off that dark shellac with a paper towel before it sets. Reapply more methylated spirits as needed, work in small sections and just keep gently scrubbing and wiping until you've removed the bulk of the dark shellac. Once it was completely stripped, I turned my attention to the big gouge at the top. I decided to fill it with Timbermate wax sticks. I had a variety of different colours to work with, and I chose mahogany, oak and walnut. These wax sticks are quite hard at room temperature, but of course they melt easily under high temp, so I'm using a little battery-operated soldering iron to melt them. It's a really simple technique. I switch the soldering iron on, it's immediately ready to go, so I touch the tip of the iron to the surface of the wood and then touch the wax stick to the iron, and the wax melts down the iron onto the surface. I add different wax colours until the hole is filled, and then I use a plastic scraper to gently smooth the top flat. I actually didn't love the couple of mahogany spots I'd added. They were too red and the colour just stood out way too much. So I scraped those bits out and filled them with more oak and walnut, and then scraped off the excess and buff it with a cloth. I finished the desk off with the 3-step wax process from Jilly's. Step 1 is restoring polish, which nourishes the timber. Step 2 is cabinet maker's wax, which seals the timber. And step 3 is lemon cream, which allows you to polish the timber to your desired shine. Now I'm going to show you how I set up my staging area. This is my entryway. I start by cleaning the dog hair from the floor, then I bring in a variety of artworks from other rooms in my home. These were all sourced from secondhand shops over the years. They're all cheap, but when they're hung together, they look like an expensive gallery of vintage artworks. I'm sorry about the angle here. What you can't see is that I have a picture rail at the top of the wall. I added it specifically so that I can easily hang different pictures at different heights depending on what I'm staging to sell. On the right-hand side of the wall is my aircon control panel, which is ugly, but it's hardwired in at that spot, so I can't just remove it. So in a minute, you'll see that one of the curtain panels in my window is actually clipped to a coat hanger, and this makes it easy to remove from the curtain rail and hang on the picture rail when I want to hide the aircon remote. I put all my listing furniture on felt feet so I can easily slide it around on the wooden floors, and then I roll out a haul runner. A runner adds so much character and texture to a listing photo, I can't recommend this highly enough. Also, because it's not a wide rug, it's easy to roll up and store when it's not in use. I added the dining chair next to the desk to fill in that gap, but alternatively you could try adding a wooden stool or a big basket just to fill in that space. And shop your house using whatever you have. I added a vase of faux stems as well, and it just all turned out beautifully. In the listing description, I made sure to mention as many special details as I could, such as the serpentine legs and the book-matched grain pattern. Now let's talk numbers. I bought this desk for $150. I had all the materials already, but I probably used about $25 worth of products. And all up, I spent about 8 hours over 2 days on this restoration. That included filming the entire process, which slows me down a little. I listed the desk on Facebook Marketplace for $850 and it sold within 24 hours, making me a profit of $675, which works out to $84 an hour. Not bad at all for a project that I could do in my own home, fitted in amongst other things over the weekend. If you like furniture flips and DIYs, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed my one-day desk makeover today. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.